Hey guys, Jamiy, and today I thought it would be a good idea to do an updated version of one of my older videos, going over the rarest Loomians you can get in Loomian Legacy. Since now we have the introductions of Gleams in the game, there are a lot more rare Loomians than there were the last time we did this. Before we start, I want to mention a couple of things. First of all, the information that I'm using in this video is using the best odds you can possibly get. For example, a normal alpha gleaming would normally be 1 in 4096 without any boosts at all. Although I'm going to be using the game passes and the boost for this entire video, which would also bring the alpha gleam odds down to 1 in only 128. The reason why I'm doing this is because I believe you should always be using game passes and boosts when going for rare Loomians, especially when they're this rare. And another thing I want to mention is that when I mention a Gamma Gleaming Loomian on this list, I will not factor in the Rainbow Wisp, just to make it a little bit easier to follow. If you don't know, every Wisp has the same value except the Rainbow Wisp, which is 4 times rarer than all of the other Wisps, which would make it roughly about 1 in 56. Although for people that are interested to see all of the Gamma Gleaming entries with the Rainbow Wisp included in their odds, I will include it along with the normal odds of it on screen at the bottom. Although I'll not mention it, it'll just be on screen. And with that being said, hopefully I don't miss any Loomians in this list. If I did, also let me know in the comments down below and I'll make sure to try and include them in the next video whenever we do this again in the future. But with that being said, let's get into the list. Okay then, so jumping into the list, I should mention that the first few entries on this list would seem very common to get in comparison with the top entries on this list, and that's just to give people like an insight to see just how stupidly rare some of these Loomians can actually be. So then, jumping straight into it then, we have number 29. This is your typical, normal Alpha Gleaming encounter. So this is stuff like your Twilight, your Twittle, also very common Loomians, and that comes in at 1 in 128. Okay, so moving on to number 28, we have your typical normal secret ability encounters, which comes in at 1 in 256. Obviously I should mention as well, if you are going to go for secret abilities in the wild, you need to make sure that you have the secret ability game pass, otherwise you cannot find secret abilities in the wild, you need the game pass to get them. Coming in at 27, we have your typical normal Gamma Gleaming encounter. So this is still things like your Twilight and Twittle and stuff, and this comes in at 1 in 640. Okay then, coming in at 26 is going to be your rare encounters for Alpha Gleams. This one might be a little bit weird. I'm actually going to split this into 2 parts whenever I mention the rare encounters. So obviously this includes things like from Gale Forest being Antsid during the day and Pyder during the night. Route 3 is Kleptyke, Route 4 is Sorche, Route 5 is Gunpod, the Graveyard is Fankub, and Route 6 is Gobidemic. This does not include Igneol though, because Igneol is even rarer. So also for these, I believe Antsid, Pyder, and Kleptyke are all 1 in 10 naturally, and I believe Sorche, Gunpod, Fankub, and Gobidemic are all more or less 1 in 25. We don't have exact odds, so I thought it would be best to do a 1 in 10 version and a 1 in 25 version whenever I mention the rare encounters. So obviously, being the first one of these is going to be only 1 in 1280. And then onto the 25 version, which will be also 1 in 3200. Okay then, so moving on to 25, this is going to be rare encounters again, but for Gamma Gleams. Obviously, Antsid, Pyder, and Kleptyke falling into the 1 in 10 encounter odds would be 1 in 6400, but the other ones, also being a 1 in 25 encounter odds, would fall into 1 in 16,000, which obviously would be tied with our 24th slot, which is Alpha, Dusket, and Ikazune, which also comes in at 1 in 16,000. Next up then for 23, we have Alpha Halloween Slugling, which comes in at 1 in 19,200, which some people might say it should be double that, but actually it isn't. If you don't actually know, when the Halloween event was in the game, the Slugling was 1 in 300 encounter odds just to even find it, but the Alpha odds for it actually were cut in half. All of the event Loomians that are in the game, the Halloween Slugling and Sorche, the Santa Lagoon, and also the Icicle as well, all have a 1 in 64 alpha gleaming odds, so it's just cut in half basically. So if you don't know, that's what alpha Halloween Slugling's odds are, 1 in 19,200. Okay then, so moving on to our 22nd slot. This is actually a three-way tie, but I've put them in an order that I believe would be the rarest of them all in order, which 22 is actually the secret abilities for Dusket and Ikazune, which comes in at 1 in 32,000. Obviously our 21 slot is Gamma Obsidian. Obviously, like I said before, it is another rare encounter on a route, but Igneal is actually 1 in 50 for encounter rate. It only has a 2% chance, which makes it obviously stupidly rare compared to the other rare encounters, but coming in again at 21, Gamma Obsidian is 1 in 32,000 again. Okay, and so to end this three-way tie, for number 20, we have Alpha Halloween Sorchi, which again is 1 in 32,000. I decided to put this one higher than the other two for the fact that also the event is now over and there is a chance that the Halloween Sorchi will probably not be coming back. But again, that's just a theory. We could potentially see it back in future, but since it's an event Loomian, I would say that it is rarer than the other two that tie with it. Coming in at our 19th slot then, this is actually Alpha Pyramid and Ferroglyph. So obviously some people might have been realizing that I didn't include Pharaoh. That's because it actually is rarer. You can actually not boost for Pharaoh. It is a 1 in 300 encounter odds, and right now, currently as recording this video, there is no way to boost the odds, which also comes in at 1 in 38,400. Number 18 is another event Loomian. This is the Alpha Santa Dragoon, which comes in at 1 in 64,000. Number 17 actually goes to Secret Ability Pyramid and Ferroglyph, which comes in a little bit rarer than our 18th slot, which is 1 in 76,800. Although I should mention, some people actually have gotten it, but I kind of feel bad because the secret ability isn't exactly that great on it, so it's rare, but it's not exactly that great, unfortunately. Coming at our number 16th slot then, this is Secret Ability Halloween Slugling, which I forgot to mention is also tied with the Secret Ability Ferroglyph, but because this is an event Loomian, obviously I'm going to put it a little bit higher because there is the chance that it could not come back in the future, which also, again, Secret Ability Halloween Slugling comes in with a 1 in 76,800 encounter odds. Coming in at number 15 is actually going to be Gamma Dusket and Ikazune, which comes in at 1 in 80,000, which is just a little bit rarer than also our last two entries, but still it is a little bit rarer, so let's post it at our number 15 slot. Okay then, so coming in at number 14, this is actually our first entry to break the 1 in 100,000, unless you include the Rainbow Wisp, which again, I'm not going to mention them. They're just flashed on screen in case you're curious about them. But that is actually going to be Secret Ability Halloween Sorchi, which comes in at 1 in 128,000. And I should have mentioned this when I mentioned the other Halloween Secret Ability Slugling, is that even though the gleaming odds are actually cut in half, also the alpha being 1 in 64 rather than 1 in 28, the secret abilities actually don't become a little bit easier to get. They still remain the 1 in 256. So I thought I'd quickly mention that in case people got confused. But yeah, only the gleamings are actually cut in half. So anyway, that's our number 14 slot. Coming in at our 13th slot is actually going to be a Gamma Gleam Secret Ability Normal Encounters. So that's a mouthful, I know, but that's basically like your Twilight, your Twittle stuff. That comes in with 1 in 163,840 encounter odds. Yeah, they're fairly rare, and some people have gotten them, and it's pretty nuts. Okay then, so for our 12th slot, we have a Gamma, Pyramid, and Ferroglyph, which comes in at 1 in 192,000. For our number 11th slot, this is actually going to be Secret Ability Santa Dragoon, coming in at 1 in 256,000. Okay then, moving on to our 10th slot, finally the top 10. This is actually going to be rare encounters, but for the alpha secret ability versions of them. So for Ansipider and Kleptyke, they come in at 1 in 327,680. And for all of the other rare encounters, excluding Igneal obviously, comes in at 1 in 819,200. Okay then, so for number 9, we have rare encounters again, but for Gamma secret abilities. So obviously for Ansipider and Kleptyke, they come in at a whopping 1 in 1,638,400. Yeah, we're in the millions now. And that's not even it. For our other rare encounters, for like Sarchi and stuff, they come in at a 1 in 4,096,000 odds. For our number 8 slot is Alpha Secret Ability Dusket and Ikazune, which actually ties odds-wise with the rarer rare encounters, weird to say, but like Sarchi and stuff, comes in at, again, 1 in 4,096,000. For our 7th slot, we have Alpha Secret Ability Halloween Slugling, which I don't believe any of these exists, but I thought I'd mention it just for the fact that, hey, this is super rare and no one actually got it like within the few weeks that we actually had it in the game, but Alpha Secret Ability Halloween Slugling comes in at 1 in 4,915,200. Coming at our 6th slot is actually going to be a Gamma Secret Ability Obsidian, which comes in at a whopping 1 in 8,192,000. For our 5th slot, this is actually tied for our 6th slot as well, but again, because it is an event Loomian, I'm going to put it a little bit higher, which is Alpha Secret Ability Halloween Sarchi, which again comes in at 1 in 8,192,000, which again, I don't think anyone actually has one of these, but I thought I'd include it just for the fact that if it does come back in the future, you know what the odds are for them, and they are very rare. And coming into our next slots, they get even nuttier. Okay then, so for our 4th slot, just shy of 1 in 10 million, comes in Alpha Secret Ability Ferroglyph, which actually is 1 in 9,830,400. Okay then, so for our top 3 slots now, into the top 3, and these ones are really nuts. I can't exactly see anyone getting a lot of these, especially number 3, which is Alpha Secret Ability Santa Dragoon, which again, same for the Allure events. The Santa Dragoon was only actually in the game for like a week, and it was 1 in 1,000 encounter odds, so it was already stupidly rare. So if this does come back in the future, someone actually might get this, but this comes in at 1 in 16,384,000. Yeah, we probably need this in the game for like a few months or a few years for someone to actually get one of these. So yeah, that's our number 3 slots. And if you thought that was nuts, coming in at number 2, we have the Gamma Secret Ability Dusket and Ikazune, which comes in at 20,480,000. Yeah, these are really rare. And it's even rarer if you also get the Rainbow Wisp on top of that, which is dumb rare. That's only our 2nd slot. Number 1 is even rarer. Okay then, I'm coming in at number 1, which is Gamma Secret Ability Ferroglyph, which comes in with 1 in 49,152,000, which is stupidly rare. That's not even it. I think for this one, I'll actually include the Rainbow Wisp, which also, again, you just take the base number that I just mentioned and multiply it by 56 for the Rainbow Wisp, and that means a Gamma Secret Ability Ferroglyph with a Rainbow Wisp is 1 in 2,752,512,000. Yes, if you get one of these, go buy a lottery ticket. Actually, probably don't. You probably just used all of your luck, so yeah, but that comes in at our number 1 slot. So yeah, good luck getting one of those. And that comes to an end of this list. Also, I will do more of these in the future if you guys like to see them. Also, smash like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I do Loomian Legacy content every single day. I know I'm addicted to Loomian Legacy, I know. But with that being said, also I'm going to leave it off here, but before I do, I want to quickly mention Icicle, just for the fact that I know I didn't include it in this list, and I know that some people are going to mention it in the comments. The reason why I didn't include Icicle is because it's actually not that rare. The only thing that makes Icicle rare is the fact that it was an event. It might come back in the future like there are the other events, but you have to keep in mind that for the Sarchi and the Slugling, or the Halloween Sarchi and Slugling and the Santa Dragoon, you had to get them in the wild, and they had an encounter odds of like 1 in 300, 500, and 1,000. For Icicle, you didn't have to find it in the wild, you just had to find presents around the game. So technically Icicle's alpha form only is 1 in 64, which would be number 30 on this list. And for the secret ability, it would just count as a regular, normal secret ability Loomian like Twilight in the wild, which is again 1 in 256. So that's the reason why I didn't include it, because it technically isn't rare encounter odds wise, but it is rare for the fact that it was an event Loomian. So I thought I'd quickly mention it because I know some people are going to be confused on why I didn't include it. It is rare, especially if you get the colored versions, but I just didn't really feel like including it because it technically isn't that rare for odds wise. Anyway, with that being said, I think I'm going to leave this video off here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. It took me a while to get all of this information. I'm going to actually just save the document that I have right now, just for future, so I can just add to it. But yes, video took a while, but I will appreciate it, like I said, to leave a like if you want to see more of these in the future. And hey, if we get even rarer stuff or other events, this could be even crazier in the future. I mean, right now our closest thing that we have at number 1 is almost 1 in 50 million, and that's without the Rainbow Wisp. I can't really say anything, but I'm going to quickly say the events that we've had so far for the Santa Dragoon and stuff, we only had access to the alphas when we got those. In the future, if they want to do more events and they actually decide to add in the gamma versions of them, just think about how stupidly rare those are going to be, since the alpha secret ability in Santa Dragoon came in at our 3rd slot. Yeah, this is going to increase a lot more if we get the gamma versions of them. But anyway, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.